I'm much better now that the ladies are back from space.
Thank you for having me. What were they up there, 10 minutes?
Well, it was very profound.
There is truly nothing more unserious than a bunch of female celebrities flying into space in a dong-shaped ship while claiming that they're astronauts saving humanity.
We've got to get to Blue Origin because it's over the top. It's over the top.
Out there, it's dark. It's like death.
And I'm so proud of us. I really am proud of me.
Flowers for me, I believe, are like God's laughter.
Look at us, we're very wealthy. Don't we look great? Admire us.
Colonel, you better take a look at this radar.
What is it, son?
I don't know, sir, but it looks like a giant dick.
He had the right idea. Send the most insufferable feminists and girl bosses into space. The only problem is they came back.
If riding a billionaire's joyride for 11 minutes makes you an astronaut, then every kid who's been on Space Mountain is ready for NASA. Just hand them a juice box and call it a mission. Welcome to the celebrity space race, where your ticket to the cosmos comes with a side of flower crowns, vanity, and one hell of a disconnect from Earth. Picture this. Katy Perry, sparkly spacesuit, full glam, tears of joy, steps out of Jeff Bezos' glorified space pogo stick and calls herself an astronaut. Not in a wasn't that cool kind of way, but in a history was made today, feminist milestone, give me my parade tone. And social media? Oh honey, social media had time. Cue the memes, cue the mockery.
Katy Perry needs to be further empowered bothers me. She's already got about $1 billion, and, you know, short of Taylor Swift, is the most famous pop star and female pop star in the world. That she needs empowerment says something sad about women.
Let's celebrate female astronauts.
And because they were united.
Because a lot of men astronauts, they have to go to school.
Right.
They have to learn how to be a pilot first. Then they have to join the Air Force or the Navy, and then they get appointed by NASA.
That's right.
And then they go to space, you know?
And there has been, that's the other thing, there has been female astronauts.
Let's not minimize this.
And cue Joe Rogan pouring gasoline on the whole intergalactic bonfire. Let's talk about this so-called space trip. It wasn't the International Space Station. It wasn't even space travel. It was an 11-minute suborbital pop, meaning they kissed the edge of space, took a few selfies, and bounced back before Katy's mascara had a chance to smudge. It was like a Six Flags ride, but with more zero-gravity yoga poses and dramatically clasped hands. The Blue Origin capsule? Fully remote-controlled, that's right. No buttons, no controls, just sit back, look cute, and let Bezos' algorithm do the work. So when Katy Perry and the rest of the space tourists started comparing themselves to pioneers like Neil Armstrong or Sally Ride, the internet lost its collective mind. Because calling this a space mission is like calling a champagne brunch a survival expedition. Joe Rogan, who usually reserves his eye rolls for vegans and UFO whistleblowers, couldn't resist. He unleashed a sarcasm-fueled monologue that could melt a space helmet. If 11 minutes of zero gravity makes you an astronaut, Rogan quipped, then I'm a Navy SEAL every time I go paintballing. The audience howled. Rogan kept going. They weren't even flying the thing. That's like Uber claiming you're a driver just because you sat in the back seat. He wasn't alone. Memes flooded the internet. Katy Perry in an astronaut suit next to Buzz Lightyear with captions like, "To delusion and beyond." Or, "One small step for woman, one giant leap for my Instagram engagement." The backlash was fierce and hilarious. Brett Cooper rolled her eyes so hard she nearly entered her own suborbital flight. Megyn Kelly called it celebrity cosplay and a masterclass in vanity PR. Even Wendy's Yes, the fast food chain, tweeted, "We send hotter stuff into the air every time we drop chicken nuggets into grease. Savage." And then came Amy Schumer, who joked she was launching a 9-minute balloon ride and demanding astronaut status immediately after. When fast food chains and comedians agree on something, you know you've messed up. Let's talk about the angle that really hit a nerve. The idea that this flight was some kind of feminist landmark. The media headlines came in hot. Women reach new heights. Katy breaks barriers. A win for womanhood. But the video, this takedown masterpiece that's now making rounds on YouTube like wildfire, wasn't having it. It calls the whole thing what it really was. A billionaire's PR stunt dressed in the language of empowerment. Because let's be real, the real trailblazing women in space? They trained for years, faced actual danger, and conducted groundbreaking research. Peggy Whitson, 665 days in space, 3 long-duration missions, former NASA chief astronaut. Sunita Williams, 2 space flights, 7 spacewalks, and a marathon on a treadmill in space. Compare that to an 11-minute PR puff piece, and you get why the internet is throwing shade like it's solar-powered. Then came Gayle King journalist, space tourist, and apparently part-time spin doctor. She went on morning TV glowing with space euphoria, comparing herself to real space pioneers. "This was historic," she said. "This was powerful. Twitter? Not buying it." One user clapped back. "Sis, you were gone for less time than it takes to binge a Netflix pilot. Calm down." The attempts to reframe this as inspirational backfired faster than Bezos' rocket engine. The American public didn't see empowerment, they saw elite cosplay, vanity wrapped in zero-G, and a glaring reminder of who gets to touch the stars while the rest of us juggle rent and rising grocery bills. Let's stack the stats. Blue Origin's joyrides. Fully remote, pre-programmed, cushy. NASA missions. Months of prep. Rigorous simulations, real danger. Astronauts have to know orbital mechanics, survival skills, engineering, and medicine. These celebrities? They needed a makeup artist, a camera crew, and a good cry on landing. It's not astronauting. It's astronaut LARPing. Now let's sprinkle in some delicious irony. Every one of these space tourists has posted about saving the environment. No straws, use tote bags, compost your avocado pits. Meanwhile, a single Blue Origin flight emits enough CO2 to make Greta Thunberg spontaneously combust. How can you preach sustainability while yeeting yourself into space for clout? Katy Perry once sang, "I stood for nothing, so I fell for everything." Sis, it's giving prophecy. Sources say Katy Perry is now deeply uncomfortable with how the trip was received. She reportedly didn't expect the backlash or the endless jokes about her kissing the ground post flight like she just survived Apollo 13. There was also a moment with flowers, some kind of staged ritual where she accepted petals like she just saved the world. It's now a meme template with captions like, "When you survive brunch without spilling your mimosa. Attempts to spin it? Total failure. Public opinion hasn't softened. If anything, the cringe factor has aged like milk in a sauna." This whole event landed right in the middle of a culture war. Not just between rich and poor, but between authenticity and artifice. Because while Katy and company played astronaut Barbie, millions of people were facing layoffs, inflation, and student loans that might as well be spacebound. And that's the real reason this hit so hard. It wasn't just silly, it was out of touch. Watching billionaires and celebs play pretend in the most expensive costume drama ever made? That's not inspiration. That's dystopia. So what did we learn? That calling yourself an astronaut after 11 minutes in Bezos' Barbie rocket is like calling yourself a chef after microwaving a Hot Pocket. That public perception matters, and people are no longer clapping for billionaires doing cosplay with climate consequences. That PR stunts, dressed as empowerment, ring hollow in a world where the real heroes rarely get the spotlight. But most importantly, that the internet remains undefeated. It took a space trip and turned it into a cautionary tale and a comedy special. Because when you try to rewrite history in eyeliner and Instagram captions, the web will be there waiting with jokes sharper than any launch trajectory. Next time a celebrity says they made history, ask if they brought snacks or scientific instruments or just a glam team and a good lighting rig. Because space might be the final frontier, but cringe. Cringe is eternal. Let me know if you'd like this turned into a voiceover script repurposed for a YouTube video, or if you want graphics and thumbnails to match the tone.